Okay, here we go. Stand by. 3, 2, 1.
The thinking atheist. It's not a person. It's a symbol. An idea.
The population of atheists in this country is going through the roof.
Rejecting faith. Pursuing knowledge. Challenging the sacred.
If I tell the truth, it's because I tell the truth. Not because I put my hand on a book and made a wish.
And working together for a more rational world.
Take the risk of thinking for yourself. Much more happiness, truth, beauty, and wisdom will come to you that way.
Assume nothing. Question everything. And start thinking. This is the Thinking Atheist Podcast. Hosted by Seth Andrews.
I bought my cat a Christmas present, and it was really a gift of necessity. My cat has developed a pronounced limp, front left paw. He's just limping all around the house. Been going on for a few months. I think I talked about this back in October, but the vet said the x-rays revealed bone spurs. Your cat is 14. It's normal for cats to develop arthritis. And so he's hobbling around. And he breaks my heart. He's hobbling from place to place. And perhaps most tragically, he loves to be on the master bed with me. When I'm sitting up there or watching TV or I'm taking a nap or whatever, he likes to come and lays either on my chest or right here and kind of cradled under my right arm, and he purrs. And he's such a sweet kitty boy. And then when he's done, he jumps down off the bed, and my heart breaks because you can hear his legs boom, hitting the floor. And I'm sure that's got to hurt or it's doing more damage. And so I thought, well, what if we did little cat stairs or a ramp or something just for the bed? And it might be kind of unsightly, but it's functional and the cat needs it, especially if he's might be in pain. So I Googled cat ramp, and there's a whole market for this stuff. I spent hours on my phone scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Do I want a ramp? The kind of thing you would drive a small motorcycle up, an actual flat ramp, or do I want stairs? And then what material? You want a cloth of some kind, or do you want a carpet or rubber? But the cat's got claws. It shouldn't be a problem. I don't know. I just scrolled and scrolled. What color? Do we want to match it to the rest of the bedroom? Is it now an accessory? And we finally found cat stairs. So he has a Christmas gift that is on the way. It hasn't arrived yet. And then we got to figure out whether or not he will use it. I think he will. Most of the website says that if cats see something to climb on, they will do so. But what about the dogs? Because we've got the tiny dogs, and it's possible maybe they would learn how to go up the stairs. They love to be on the master bed. I think they feel good and comfortable and safe up there, but they can't sit on the master bed when we are gone because we don't want them jumping all the way down to the floor. If they had stairs, maybe they could just help themselves. Hey, I feel like sitting on the master bed comforter or whatever. Let's go tick, 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 up the stairs. And when they're done, tick, 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 down the stairs. How do you get a dog to do that? You're going to have to show them how. I doubt they'll just pick it up. Not my dogs anyway. So I Googled it. And there are a ton of websites teaching people how to train your dogs to use stairs. Most of the recommendations are you want to put a bunch of pillows around the stairs because, I don't know, your dog's drunk or something. What? But they put pillows all around the stairs, and then you have your dog at the bottom and you put a treat on the first rung or step. And then you point it out and say, would you like a snack or a treat or whatever your word is? And the dog puts a paw up and maybe sneaks up and grabs one. And you're like, good puppy. What a sweet boy. You did so good. And then you put the treat on the next step and then the next and maybe sit at the top and they go up and down. They are learning to safely navigate their doggy stairs. Anyway, at some point, there will be a box on the front porch and I'm sure assembly instructions, and we are going to have pet steps. And I'll take photographs and put them on social media. And I'm going to take video if I can get Kat to use it. Up and down, being able to just go easy. It's going to be a gift to my heart. So I'm not aggrieved every time he comes up to get some snugglies, a practical gift for the holidays. Out of curiosity, I did some checking on other gifts for pets. And again, there is a massive marketplace for animals for the holidays, everything from big bags of treats to customized collars, special toys. There are subscription services to companies called like BarkBox. And then every month you get a box of just random stuff. Special blankets and cozy dog beds and clothing. Oh, man, the clothing market for dogs. And Linus and Gracie have them. They're so cute. You button up these down coats when it gets really cold. You just button it on and they look like little fuzzy people walking down the street. You're so fashionable. You're such a handsome boy. And they totally know how to get dressed. They come over and they know to stick their arms out and go in the sleeves. I don't know, I'm just babbling. I think I might derive more pleasure out of giving gifts to my dogs than I do to most people. Shopping for people is hard, I think. What do you want for Christmas? I don't know. People ask me. I don't care. I don't care. If I needed it, I probably already got it. Natalie, what do you want? What do you want for Christmas, honey? I'm good. And apparently that's a wrong answer. I'm good. I don't need anything. I'm going to save your money. Maybe let's go do something together. No, I want to put something under the tree for you. I don't know what I need. Maybe I should take a cue from the dogs. Give me a bag of treats. And let me eat snacks and then tell me I've been a good boy. It's cheap and it's delicious. I would do that for Christmas. Let's see. We have calls on the switchboard. There are no rules. There is no real topic. If you want to talk about how the godless celebrate the holidays, that sounds fun. We can do that. Some people skip it altogether. Some people go all pagan, which is awesome. But we can talk about whatever. I'm going to speak to Dean at 360. What do you want to talk about?
So I'm a trans man in the United States, and I have some worries about what the future for myself and my community is going to look like. I know what the position of the Republicans and Donald Trump is, and I'm wondering how long it's going to take until those positions become turned into law, or worse, that they might make new ones to throw us in jail for just simply existing.
Those are my concerns. And I think it's even harder that we can't tell the future. And I worry that the damage done in even a short amount of time is going to take long decades to undo, if ever.
Absolutely.
A challenge that we have is how successful the right-wing disinformation campaigns have been. The trans community is a stellar example, right? They needed a villain, so they concocted a bunch of stories about how the predators are waiting in the restrooms for your children and your kids go to school and come back a different gender, and it's all part of woke culture, and they got people to freaking panic over a threat that doesn't exist. And sadly, the trans community is probably the most marginalized, in a strong field, the most marginalized and vilified demographic in this country right now. My heart goes out to you, Dean.
Thank you. Right now, I'm in a very good place, and transition happened to be part of it. And I hate to think that the majority of the people in the United States, or even just in the government in general, would be so hateful as to take my happiness and ruin it.
I find it ironic that the people who are talking about how they don't want government to meddle in their lives now are using government to meddle in people's lives. It's just the ultimate hypocrisy. All I know is that
It is.
we're in it together. We'll see what happens, do our best to react to it in a constructive way, and try to humanize these issues when so many others are trying to dehumanize. But big hug from me and my family to you, Dean, okay?
Thank you. And that is adorable that you got your cat and potentially your dogs too, a ramp for your bed. And I'm sorry that you had such a bad experience with the edibles. Not everybody has a good one.
Okay. Well, thanks. Thank you so much. Thanks for your, in my time of need, your encouragement brings me great comfort. Dean, be good. Have a good holiday, okay?
I shall.
All right, we'll see you later. Of course, the context on that is that I was having trouble sleeping. Friend gave me a gummy, and it resulted in one of the worst nights of my life. So, and then I said this on a previous show that I, in desperation, took some NyQuil, and I slept really hard. But I dreamed that night I was playing tennis with Steven Spielberg. My dreams have been bizarre lately. Last night, no kidding. Last night, I had a dream that I was near the ocean in this sort of rocky cove, and there were penguins all around me. And it was time for the penguins to step off of land or waddle off of land and jump into the water and swim off somewhere. And I don't know where. They were just supposed to go. It was like a seasonal thing. It's migration time for these penguins. And I was supposed to join them. I don't know if I was a guide or just following. Was I curious? But in order for me to be able to go on the penguin quest, I had to be painted. I had to be painted like a penguin, black and white. I did the sort of penguin tuxedo paint. I think I had swim trunks on, and they had to paint me. And so I didn't actually make it to the ocean before I woke up, but they were taking these big, like, house paint brushes with black and white, and they were painting me to resemble a penguin. And then the idea was I was going to apparently waddle in toward the shore, jump into the water, and I was going to go off with all of my little penguin buddies. You know, just bizarre. And I know some people who believe that dreams have some sort of deep-seated meaning. And I think dreams can reflect in some ways how you're feeling, what's going on in your mind. They can echo experiences of the day. But I don't think dreams mean, quote unquote, mean things. You know, you take interpretations like you've been visited by the oracle. You ever met anybody? And they interpret these wacky dreams and say, what the universe is trying to tell me is this. We used to have a guy who did an evening broadcast on 96.5 FM. They called him the Dream Doctor. And so they play a song or two, and then the guy would come on. He would take a call, and the caller would talk about a dream they'd had. And then this dream doctor, who I would love to see his qualifications, like, where'd you get your degree? What's on your diploma? How does one become a dream doctor? But anyway, he would tell the caller what deep meaning that dream had. And I am sorry. I had a dream I was swimming in an Olympic-sized pool that was filled with cottage cheese while I was wearing a tutu. What does that mean, dream doctor? I just don't buy it. I think the brain is a blender. It just spits things out. It might be able to tell you something about your mindset, but it's not giving you meaning. I was flying over the Grand Canyon. By the way, I was Richard Nixon. Can you tell me what that dream means? Oh, no. No, I think the brain is just weird. It's interesting. It's fascinating. It's, for lack of a better word, miraculous in its complexity. But it does not tell us who we are or how to live or what to expect in this world through dreams. And if it did, holy shnikes. I was drinking coffee in my dream, and I looked down, and swimming in the coffee was a tiny little gremlin, and he only communicated through Morse code by tapping on the ceramic. What does that mean? if there is deeper meaning in that, I should probably be seeking some kind of help. I'm just saying. I've got Rosemary on a web call. Are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can indeed. What's on your mind, Rosemary?
Do you think that there will be riots next year because of the policies, Trump's policies?
Do I think there will be riots next year?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Everybody's asking me to predict the future. All I can say is I'm nervous. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what crazy shit's going to come out of the White House. I don't know which demographic they're going to come after next and what the response will be. I don't know what the final cabinet is going to look like. Oh, look, there's so-and-so and they're batshit crazy, or they're a pseudoscience crank, or they're loaded up with sexual abuse allegations. I don't know what's going to happen. And so I fear that there's going to be corruption, grift. There's going to be the normalization of cruelty, and that may include violence, but I couldn't say. All I know is that, my wife's got a T-shirt that says love wins, and I sure would like love to win, but I'm kind of nervous.
Doesn't it embarrass you that all your politicians now are just full of, sexual abusers and felons, and they're like a right shit stain on the underpants of politics.
Yeah, it's horrifying. Donald Trump, first of all, is stacking the deck with billionaires. And secondly, I think he just wants to burn it all down. He wants to weaponize it against his enemies, and then he just wants to burn it. He doesn't give a shit. So whatever helps him have and cloister and consolidate power, he's going to do. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to buckle up. I'm going to try to reset my brain. A lot of people have checked out. They're just so tired, and I understand it. But thanks for checking in on us, Rosemary. You're much appreciated.
That's okay. Thank you.
All
Bye.
Right. Bye. See you later. It's a lot, isn't it? I don't think we're made to process all of this. I get overwhelmed, and so I check out and do other things, and then I feel guilty because I need to be engaged in the world, and I log on, and I'm filled with despair and dread, and so I check out and distract myself again, and it's a vicious cycle. I saw a Psychology Today article that was published a few years ago, 5 ways to deal with despair that won't go away. It's kind of a poorly headlined article. 5 ways to deal with despair that won't go away is a poor phrasing. 5 ways to deal with unrelenting despair, perhaps, would be a better way to phrase it. But I was curious because I feel despair. Maybe you do as well. This article was written by a psychologist named Sean Grover. Sean said, number 1, take your despair for a walk. Once a day, try your best to get out of the house for some fresh air. A brisk walk raises your metabolism, boosts endorphins, and will give you much needed headspace. Shaking off tension and gaining some vitamin D can also offer some relief. That's going to be tough in the month of December and into January in specific parts of the country. Oh, it's minus 9 degrees. Let's get out for fresh air. That's maybe a bit utopian, but usable when the warmer weather returns. Number 2, give your sorrow words. When I can't find the words for sadness, I always turn to poets and writers who are masters at capturing elusive feelings. Finding the words for your despair offers comfort and solace. As Shakespeare wrote in Macbeth, give sorrow words. The grief that does not speak knits up the o'erwrought heart and bids it break. Number 3, honor your despair. Please don't deny it. Don't push it away. When you acknowledge your despair, you take away some of its power over you. Oh, yeah. I acknowledge you, despair. I see you, despair. The article finishes that paragraph with, for example, a friend who was struggling said to me, "Today is a dark day. I think I need to be alone." I understood what he meant and was glad he shared his true feelings rather than perform feeling better. When he honored his despair, I could too. Number 4, seek out fellowship. Now, this is a loaded word, but we'll call it community. All right. In the church, we call it fellowship, but all right, I'll go there. Community, human connection. Isolation fuels despair. Seek out the company of people who share your experience. Now, for the record, in my case, that is going to be you. It's going to be Natalie, and it's going to be you. So whether you like it or not, you are my despair buddy, okay? Number 5, avoid toxic positivity. A patient in her weekly session shared with me that a friend cheerfully told her, "Don't worry, everything will work itself out." These may seem like comforting words. They had the opposite effect. "I know he meant well," she said, "but I felt the strong urge to punch him in the face." Her chronic illness was not going to work itself out. Such phrases like "everything happens for a reason" are insensitive to those who are truly suffering. Life's most devastating problems may be helped by a positive attitude, but can't be solved by one. Toxic positivity from others feels insulting when you're faced with insurmountable grief. I think that lines up with people, and we've all felt this when you're going through the blues. You've got maybe seasonal or some other kind of depression, or you're going through something kind of rough, and people say, "There's so much good in your life. What do you have to be sad about? Cheer up, little camper, buck up, because the sun is shining, and it's a beautiful day, and you have so much to be thankful for." And I feel what this woman felt. I just want to punch him in the face. "Oh, you're interested in tools and tactics to help me feel better? Let me slap you." And I normally don't resort to violence. It's just a fantasy. But I know you felt it. "Oh, it's such a beautiful life." Poof. I know you fantasized about it. I know it. More calls and commentaries on the end of 2024 and the impending new year. We continue next. If you want to give a Christmas gift to your humble host, please consider becoming a patron. It's just a huge thing. It helps me to do this full time. It matters. You get the show 2 days early and commercial free if you get a special RSS feed. Some people decide they don't even need that. They just want to support via Patreon. But for 2025, it would be most welcome if you would sign up at patreon.com/Seth Andrews. Katie at 863, thanks for waiting on me. Are you there?
I am.
Talk to me. What do you want to chat about today?
So, over Thanksgiving, when I went home to visit my primarily conservative family members, I kept a list of some of the crazy shit that I heard them say, and I wondered if I could read the highlights off to you, just to hear your response to it, because I'm curious.
I am a quiver with anticipation, Katie. Let me have it.
Okay, so the first one I've got, my older sister, who is kind of a big anti-vaxxer, she claimed that Fauci profited greatly off of remdesivir, and he basically made the hospital use it to help cure COVID because he greatly profited off of it.
I heard the same conspiracy theory about Dr. Peter Hotez, who then I think went on Twitter and said something about, well, here's what my income is. He literally got out in front of it, and it didn't make any difference because the anti-vaxxers weren't listening anyway. That's crazy.
Yeah, and she also overall claimed that hospitals made so much money during COVID, which I don't know exactly what her suggestion is there. Like, does she think hospitals made it worse or created it in the first place so that people would have to pay money to be there? I don't know.
This speaks to one of the major challenges that we have, because more than one thing can be true at the same time. So baked into a lot of anti-vax conspiracy theories is the reality that for-profit hospitals were often overcharging, and there are mistakes made, and there can be corruption. It's like talking about big pharma. yes, the pharmaceutical industry is made up of human beings, many of whom are scientists and who are wanting to be a part of our solutions. At the same time, these are massive for-profit organizations with huge bank accounts and influence and lobbyists, etc. So it's easy when someone says big pharma is manufacturing the COVID crisis to make money, because we know that big pharma is problematic and it speaks to something in our gut. And we're like, yeah, that feels intuitive. But it doesn't negate the fact that we had morgue trucks just a few years ago with bodies because we had no place to put the dead, those who had perished from COVID. And it's very difficult, I think, to speak to those people.
I totally agree. Another fun one. She told me that she has seen about 5 videos proving Trump's claim that immigrants are eating pets in Ohio. She told me that she has seen multiple videos beyond just the one that was debunked, showing Haitian immigrants eating dogs and cats in Ohio.
Well, if it's on YouTube, it's got to be true, right, Katie?
Yeah, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I was brave enough to ask her to send me these videos out of curiosity, but, you know. Yeah. Another one was, and I had forgotten his name for a moment. I started talking about the crazy televangelist who went on about getting into a tube full of demons, referring to airplanes, and that was why he needed a private jet. And I found him, and I was like, oh, Kenneth Copeland, that's his name. And my sister said, oh, I love Kenneth Copeland. That was fun.
No, it was him and another evangelist named Jesse Duplantis. Now, Jesse Duplantis is wacky because he says he went to heaven, and God showed him around, gave him the grand tour, and then showed him hell, so that Jesse Duplantis could come back and warn us all about how terrible hell is. And then, of course, Jesse Duplantis sold that story at the end of an offering plate on the order of decades. Kenneth Copeland is the guy who literally blew COVID away. So he did a service and he spoke to the virus and he said, COVID-19, and then he went, and he exhaled the breath of God to kill COVID. He says, you are defeated. COVID, you are defeated. And then 2 million people died in the United States. So God apparently was busy finding car keys and making rainbows. Anything else, Katie, before I move on?
One more thing. She said that new research shows that spanking children is actually good for them.
Oh, the corporal punishment argument's a hot one, even in the atheist community. Should you spank your children? And I used to be one of those people who thought, spank them on the butt, show them the boundaries and make them, feel consequences. They're not permanently injured. And I look back on it now and I think it was such primitive thinking. I am not a parent, but I have read some interesting research about how corporal punishment can actually cause real damage, and we need to evolve our thinking.
Yes, I've read similar things, and I think my issue is more the lack of willingness to progress as we learn more, and writing these things off as just, soft, bleeding heart, liberal ways of thinking, when actually it's people doing real research in the psychology field trying to figure out how to do things better.
And it's hard when someone says, well, I was spanked and I turned out fine, which is apparently scientific evidence for the efficacy of spanking children. I don't buy that. I think that's a pretty weak defense. Katie, I hope the rest of the year, such as it is good for you. And no matter what happens, good things for you in 2025, okay?
You as well, Seth. Thank you so much.
Be safe. See you later.
Bye.
Okay, I may have played the clip, but I got to play it again. The Ken Copeland prayer, where he killed COVID with his breath. I got to play this, and then I'm going to play one of the remixes because it's one of the greatest things in the universe. So this is Kenneth Copeland breathing COVID into extinction. This was in the spring of 2020.
COVID-19!
COVID-19!
I blow the wind of God.
The wind of God.
On you.
On you.
You are destroyed forever.
You are destroyed forever.
And you'll never be back.
And you'll never be back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that did the trick. Well, rightfully, the man was just roasted. The internet went to work, and I think this is my favorite remix of the Kenneth Copeland prayer. I liked it so much, I almost made it my ringtone, and Natalie gave me a look, which told me that I probably shouldn't because it would drive her crazy. Here's the remix.
Then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song unto the Lord. COVID-19,
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 COVID-19.
I blow the wind of God from the state of Washington to the state of Maine to Brownsville, Texas, and the tip of Florida. Today, we speak to this atmosphere. Today, burn this thing. This virus hates heat. You just burn this thing. Burn, burn. I call for a supernatural heat wave straight out of hell. Burn, burn.
People have made this man obscenely wealthy. His net worth, I think, is $750 million, tax-free. Ken Copeland, Hammett Mehta at Friendly Atheist, refers to him as a scam-vangelist, and that is the best term for him. That dude is grifting all the way to the bank. He is laughing, and in my opinion, he deserves our contempt. People have no shame. Andy at 801, are you there?
Hi, Seth. I just wanted to call and wish you and all the listeners a Merry Christmas.
I much appreciate that.
I also wanted to take the moment to remind everyone that on Christmas Day, a great man was born many years ago. Sir Isaac Newton was born December 25th, 1642.
And we honor his memory and all the great sacrifices that he made to save humankind. Andy, a big Christmas hello and hugs to you and yours. I hope the holidays are wonderful, okay?
Thank you.
All right. See you later. You know, a lot of people find it interesting that atheists say Merry Christmas. You know, there's another wedge issue and a total manufactured controversy that atheists want to kill Christmas. You're not allowed to say Christmas in public anymore. You know, I think Trump ran on that. Thanks to me, you're allowed to say Christmas again. What a load of horse shit that is. Hell, half the things we do are rooted in some kind of a mythology or named for gods, days of the week, months of the year. How many other holidays have non-Christian roots? And of course, it's always fun to see Christians with Christmas trees and mistletoe, the exchanging of gifts and Yule logs. And then we can just point and say, oh, Jesus, he's not exactly the center of attention in your Christmas decor. And then other people say they're going to skip it altogether. You know, the one thing about the holiday that just gets me irritable? It's Christmas music that is either butchered by pop stars or it's just too happy. I'm at Home Depot and I got to buy light bulbs or something. And I walk in, and it's the first thing I hear. I'm just there. I'm not in a bad mood. I'm not in a great mood. I'm just doing my chores. I got to get stuff done. And I hear this saccharine, manufactured, corporate cheer. There's bells all over the recording. Sleigh bells ring. Are you listening? You can hear the smile in their voice like it's almost a creepy smile. In the lane, snow is glistening, a beautiful sight. We're happy tonight, walking in the winter. Stop it. It has the reverse effect. It doesn't put me in a cheery mood. It just makes me irritable. First of all, I'm in Oklahoma. It's not a winter wonderland. It's just freaking cold. Secondly, I just feel like I'm being force-fed a holiday by Spotify. Right? You ever feel that? I like Christmas music. Bring on the classics, some good instrumentals. Hell, there's even a few religious songs I enjoy. I love the melody of Oh Holy Night. I'll go with it, right? Doesn't mean I believe it, but okay. But it's that super cheery stuff. Stop it. I've got 410. I do not see a name. Who's this?
Oh, this is Madam Who. Hi, Seth.
Hi there. Welcome. What's on your mind today?
Oh, I was just calling to see if you ever celebrate Festivus.
Festivus for the rest of us. And the airing of grievances. Yes. Well, do you want to explain Festivus for those who aren't aware?
Yeah, sure. It is a holiday made up by the father of a writer on Seinfeld. And what you do is you sit around a pole and air your grievances. And then you look for a minor miracle. And then you display great feats of strength. And it's not over till the head of household is pinned.
Wait, it's not over until the head of house what?
Until the head of the household is pinned.
Pinned?
You have to have a wrestling match, I guess.
Now, isn't there, instead of a tree, a pole for Festivus? Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's just a pole. Yeah.
Do they decorate the pole, or is it just a pole?
It's just a pole. Yeah, one time I had a Festivus party, and I used the stripper pole, and we aired our grievances by just sticky notes around the pole.
You just happened to have a stripper pole lying around? You just thought, well, let me go get
actually, it was my sister-in-law's. There was a craze at the time.
Hey, I'm not judging.
It was an exercise thing, yeah.
I have actually heard that. I have heard that working the pole is great exercise. It's like a full body. I am not, don't, everybody's right now rolling their eyes, but I've heard that the pole is a great workout. So I'm totally on your page.
Well, yeah, no, I don't know. I couldn't really do it. So,
yeah.
I just had it up. She just needed to have it somewhere.
Yeah.
It was in my house.
Those who wish, go and Google Festivus, and you will see a Festivus pole and maybe a little form where you can air out your grievances during the holiday season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I finally I've been trying for years to write a Festivus song, and so I finally did it, and I'm going to mix it tonight and put it up online. But I also wanted to mention that since Christmas, these holidays are so stressful that recovering from religion is a really good resource. I've become a helpline agent at Recovering from Religion, and everybody needs to go there and, just talk through stuff if you're having trouble. I wish that resource were around when I was deconstructing.
I feel the same. I wish I'd had somebody to call or had a chat line when I was going through my exit. So that's good stuff. Recovering from religion.org. Enjoy your Festivus for the rest of us, my friend, and be safe, okay?
All right. Thanks, Seth.
See you later.
Have a good day.
I mean, I'm trying to stay in shape. We've started doing yoga, play a little tennis. I guess I could try the pole, but I couldn't get away with the leggings, I don't think. You put leggings on me, it'd be like somebody jammed a bunch of footballs into pantyhose. And you don't want to see that. You just don't want to see that, especially if you want an appetite, if you got a big meal coming up over the holidays. Eli at 610. Thanks for waiting. Are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can indeed. Let's talk. What's on your mind?
I just wanted to say, well, first of all, I told them to talk about different ways to celebrate Christmas and just how I go about that. But so many things I've heard from callers already. So when it comes to Christmas, I come from a very assorted family. Everything from Nazis to people that said my name is too Jewish or black. And I've been a softcore atheist for, give or take, 12 years and more of a hard A atheist for about 4. And I feel like adapting the hard A atheist title kind of made me like Christmas more, in a way. I don't know if that makes sense.
Well, explain it. Why do you like Christmas more?
So when I was a soft A atheist, I was just generally irritated by Christmas and the celebration and, oh God, the music is awful. Not a single Christmas song I find joy in. But ever since I adapted the Hard A Atheist title, it almost let me ignore all of that and enjoy it for the social aspects. Festivus being a perfect example. I might have to get my friend's stripper pole out and we can use that. But
does everybody but me have a stripper pole around? Where have I been? I'm so naive. So
if you don't have one in your closet, what are you doing?
Without all the religious baggage, just being able to make it what it is on your terms, it's sort of liberated your holiday. Is that what I'm hearing?
Absolutely. And things like Thanksgiving, which has a strictly historical context, I can't even bring myself to celebrate that. But when it comes to things like Christmas that's so deep-rooted in religious tradition, that's kind of lost its meaning to a lot of people and that ended up being just a social tradition of giving gifts and getting together with family. It's definitely been liberating, and I hope a lot of people can actually move through and ignore the religious context and use that to better celebrate time with family and friends.
Isn't it interesting that many of the people who celebrate the Christ-driven Christmas holiday, most of the stuff they do is either pagan or just not religious, and that seems to be the stuff they love the most. I don't know. Have you noticed that, Eli?
Absolutely. And I think one of the biggest things as well is that you see all these expensive gifts being thrown around. And would a more Christian thing not to be giving those to the poor? You know, doing toy drives for poor children, working in a soup kitchen for the day. I feel like that's the more Christian thing to do.
Good stuff. Great call, Eli. Thanks for being a part of the show.
Yep, thank you. Have a good one.
See you later. Now I've got that freaking Christmas song stuck in my head. I can't get it out. They call it an earbug or an earworm. How do I get it out? I have heard that the only way to remove it is to replace it with a different earworm. I need a different song. I don't know. I'm going to think about it while I take a break. Be right back. Heading toward the Christmas holiday and the end of 2024 as we just mostly talk together, taking your calls. I've got Matt. Matt, thanks for being a part of the show. Are you there?
Yes, hello, Seth. Hi, this is Matt. You helped me with my dog's medical expenses a few years ago, if you remember.
No, I was glad to be a part of it, Matt. I hope you're doing well in your life.
Yeah, actually, I'm sorry I wasn't able to call you sooner. Just to give you an update, my dog passed away, but he recovered and had over 2 more years in his life, which I'm very thankful for, and I appreciate you helping me with that. He was over 16 when he passed away, and I just heard you talking about your cat, and I just had a bit of a warm feeling in my heart, so I just brought myself up to have the courage to call you up.
No, it means the world. It really does. And those 2 years are precious. You will have those for the rest of your life. And I'm glad your little baby had a loving home for those 16 years. That's lovely stuff. Thanks for calling, Matt, and have a Merry Christmas, okay?
Thank you, and I hope you have more loving years with your cat as well. And your family, of course.
Appreciate it. All right. We'll see you later.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Of all the technology in the world, can we invent something to extend the life of pets? Can I give Cat another decade or two, of good health? Like an elixir of some kind, a life-extending feline elixir? Because I do love him, and he loves me. He's a good kid. There is no feeling like when I'm laying back and I'm kind of in bed and just kind of chilling, and he jumps up and he likes to lay on my chest, and he's the loudest purrer. It's just, and he'll even, I think when he's sleeping, he's still purring, and it just knocks me out. It's so peaceful. It's like my moment of Zen, a little kitty therapy, And the idea of that not being there and us not, he sleeps next to my head. And even when he turns into a little asshole, he's still my kitty boy. You know what I'm saying? Gina at 615. Hi, are you there?
Hey, thanks for taking my call. You just cracked me up. I met you a few years back when you were in Nashville giving a talk to the atheist group here.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say this time of year just really gets under my skin. And I don't know if you are one like I am. I'll go into these big box stores and I'll start getting almost like a panic attack because I see all this stuff for sale and I just think of landfill. That's all I can think of. And so I have to get myself out really quick. And the fact that at Halloween time, they have Christmas stuff up. It drives me nuts.
No.
Like we can't have just one season at a time.
Abomination. You walk into a store in September and there are Christmas trees and Santa Clauses and shit. No. There should be criminal charges filed.
And also on my street, putting up Christmas before Thanksgiving's even over. That drives me nuts too.
Criminal charges should
anyway,
be filed. I'm sorry, Gina. You hit a button. You hit a button with me. You cannot put Christmas stuff out when it's September, even August. It's just an abomination. Go ahead. What else do you have for me, Gina?
It's awful. Well, my husband happened to have the TV on, and he put on The Bishop's Wife. And I had seen it a long time ago, but I decided I'd go ahead and watch it with him. And I really enjoyed it. And it's so religious, but it just had a good message. And for me, because there is so much consumerism, and I'm always one to say, when is enough enough? I just really liked a more simple message of just the idea of being good to one another.
Can I confess that I don't know what The Bishop's Wife is? I just pulled it up on Wikipedia. Is this the 1947 Cary Grant movie?
Oh, yeah. It's awesome. All the old movies are, to me.
Is it like It's a Wonderful Life kind of thing, or A Miracle on 34th Street?
No. Yeah, well, Cary Grant sent down because the bishop is having a kind of a crisis of this woman is wanting to give his church a facelift, basically. She's wanting to give all this money to him in honor of her husband that she never really loved. You need to watch it. And the angel comes down to kind of redirect the bishop to what's really important. And he kind of flirts with the wife, and the bishop gets all upset with that. It's just a great movie.
Wait a minute.
So if you haven't watched it.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
The angel is flirting with the man's wife?
Yeah, because, as an angel, you got to watch it. And, of course, you can tell she's really getting feelings for him, but no, it's wrong. And, of course, Cary Grant's character as an angel knows it's wrong. Nothing ever happens. But it's just a really feel-good movie about what it really means to be in family and just, it's just great. You need to watch it.
Okay. The Bishop's Wife. I've made a notes. I appreciate the heads up on that. Thanks for calling. It's good to hear your voice, Gina. Have a wonderful holiday. We'll see you later.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye. Like the angel's putting the moves on the guy's wife? I guess it's not impossible. Then you have to ask the question, are angels fully functional? If you know what I mean. But in the Old Testament, didn't the fallen angels, they came down to earth and they had sex with earthly women to make the Nephilim. So if we go by biblical logic, Cary Grant, if he's from the biblical heaven, he and the wife would have I'm just saying. That would have been a miracle on 34th Street. Oh, yeah. All righty. We're going to do Christmas kind of on our own terms. We don't do a ton of accoutrements. We are very much the family we choose. And I do include you in that. Because this community for me is family. It is one of those wonderful, precious gifts for me. I know it sounds corny when I say it, but I really do mean it. I sometimes will find myself in the vicinity of people who, they love me, but they don't fully accept me or respect me for who I am. And yet I can come here, and even when challenged, even when we disagree, even when we are very different in who we are, it's not about conformity. It's about who are you? Who do you want to be? Be yourself on your terms without apology. We've got your back. And I've always felt that here, and I hope you feel it from me as well. I think an authentic life is the gift we can give to ourselves every single day of the year, and whatever the new year holds, let's keep on. In the meantime, Merry Christmas, and I'll see you next time.